How's it going, guys? Winter Kills here, and welcome to a brand new post-commentary duel video live testing match here between me and my brother piloting Pure Mekk Knight, filming this down, of course, in the new studio, which if you guys haven't seen, I actually don't know if it's up at this point. I don't know what order I'm going to be uploading them, but there is either an update video out regarding that, or there will be one soon. But either way, this is the most recent build, my current most build of Mermail, and I am currently working on a new experimental version, which I'm actually very excited about, to get some content out about that current build. If you guys are interested in the Mermail build that I'm playing on the left, you should check out the deck profile uploaded the other day. And the Pure Mekk Knight deck profile has been out for a little while as well, so if you guys are interested in checking that out, there is a deck profile up on the channel. Also, should be annotated up in the top right or at the end of the last 20 seconds of the video. So, you know, die roll is a pretty interesting concept here in this match, as it really doesn't matter too much, as both decks, you know, one wants to go first, the other wants to go second. So die roll really in that sense doesn't make too big of a difference. So I get started with the Diva, going to print Send Dragoons, Add Dragoons, Minstrel, and I'm able to take a look at his hand. He doesn't have any hand traps for me to stop, but he does have, you know, a purple Nightfall. So, you know, it doesn't really make a difference of what cards I hit out of his hand. I guess technically something I should start getting used to is hitting, like, if they don't have any hand traps in that they could use during my turn, hitting their worst card out of their hand and leaving the best cards in if a Mullen Glacier setup is possible. That way you leave those good cards in their hand as, you know, to give you a possible chance to discard them off of Mullen Glacier. That is just sort of a niche thing, I guess. So, going to Helka Firebrax here. The rest of my hand isn't super fantastic. I mean, I do have some plays to be made. You'll see here, you know, I usually go actually for Fishborg Launcher here, but I'm only playing one now, and I happen to draw it and had to discard it earlier on in order to make a play. I guess I didn't ultimately have to, but that's going to force me to have to summon Diva out of the deck to go for none other than Crocodragon. But it's actually fine because that ends up actually ripping me into a Swap Frog, which is huge. So I'm going to special summon Swap Frog here, discarding Pike to the graveyard to send a copy of Ronin Totem as a result. And then I believe I end up bouncing back the Swap Frog immediately. And then, you know, special summoning it back, discarding the gun that I have in hand also. Would make it even better here is if I had a Prince in hand to revive the Pike and make a Bahamut, or not even Bahamut Shark, I guess Dweller would be the play since I'm making Toad anyways. Dweller's not so terrible against Mekk Knight, but, you know, I guess it's just better this way anyways. Because I get the level 7 on my field that I need, and I still haven't used Fishborg Launcher's graveyard effect, so you can sort of see how the pieces are falling together here, and you can tell I'm a little rusty with the Frog Engine as I, you know, get it mixed up in the fact that Swap banishes Rodin when it's the other way around. So I remember that and fix that, so there's a Ronin and a Swap under the Totally Awesome. I don't use its effect during the standby phase here, partially because I forgot to. I should have, but I think in the end it really doesn't make too big of a difference. But this is like a pretty solid end board, if you ask me. Even if the Toad wasn't there, I would still think it's a pretty decent field. I have, you know, Interruption in the form, and a discard outlet in the form of Crocodragon. I also have a Spell Trap Negate, and also have the Helka Firebrax, which can tag into that of Formula to pick up a draw if it's activated in the right time, and that can also go to Satellite Warrior for an additional 2 disruptions, which is incredible. So he's going to go with Indigo, going to go with Purple Nightfall here, and then follow that up with a normal summon of Avram, and then he's going to enter Battle Phase, and I'm going to go ahead and use the effect before he leaves Battle Phase for the tag out into Formula Synchron that allow me to draw. It's not being activated in response to anything that starts a chain, so Formula won't miss timing. He's going to, you know, push the Battle Phase again, and I'm forced to quick Synchro into Satellite Warrior, where I'm going to be able to target 2 cards on the field to destroy them. And then Satellite Warrior will gain 1,000 attack for each card destroyed by that effect, and he gets to destroy cards up to the number of Synchros I have in my grave. And of course, at this point, I'm always going to have 2. So at least at this point in the game, there's usually 2. I mean, there could be potentially room to have 3, because I only play 4 Synchros. So 3 would be the max, but 2 is usually the standard, which is fine. I mean, a quick pop 2 is always nice. So he's gonna try again here. in the battle phase. And I've got the Croca Dragon here. I'm just trying everything in my power to protect this Totally Awesome from just getting cheesed out in the battle phase. So he's going to go ahead and use now World Legacy's Memory, of course, to summon out a Mekk Knight from the deck. Purple Nightfall has already been exhausted during this game, or this turn, I should say. So that will not be an option, at least a good option to grab off of Memory. So he's going to go for Girsu, which is going to set up World Legacy, World Armor in the graveyard. And I think he might have told me that he might have made a bit of a mistake with the normal summon of Ram. Now, I do want to preface that my brother isn't the most frequent player, but the one deck he is trying to sort of pick up a little bit on is Mekk Knight. It's a deck he's very much fond of. Good choice, in my opinion. Still might be trying to learn some things and put some things together, as am I. Always with Mermail, as the build is always constantly changing and evolving as time goes on, especially with this new build that I'm trying to put together. Actually, just tonight, while I was doing a little tinkering, a little bit of test hands on my own, kind of figuring some things out, involving, I won't give away too much, but involving that Megalantica field spell for the Deep Sea Archetype. Really liking it thus far, so you guys might see a test hand video regarding that very soon, so keep an eye out for it. But as you see here, he's going to go ahead and use Red Moon, and he's going to banish. I don't know if it actually banishes for cost, but either way, I do end up negating it with the Totally Awesome, and that's pretty much all the interaction I have, and he's still got that blue sky, which I'm not really able to do too much about. He's going to net himself a search there. He's going to grab Girsu for next turn. Now, debating on whether or not he should go into another Morningstar or Spectrum Supreme. Now, hindsight 2020 here, I think he could have possibly made another Morningstar and just added something like Indigo off of that blue sky. Or I guess Girsu could work too, but I think Indigo would have been fine. He could have made another Morningstar, discarded the search, because I don't think he used the search effect the first time around in fear of it getting negated outright. So he could have searched something like Secrets again and had that set up for next turn, but ultimately I don't think it matters, as I'm discarding double Dragoons for my Crocosaur at the start of my next turn. So Mermail taking a pretty decent win, not super commanding, but a pretty fair win over Mekk Knights there in game 1 as we head into game 2 here. Resolving Minstrel. Again, no hand traps to be found, even though there's 11 in my current Mekk Knight build. Not drawing a single hand trap in game 1 or game 2, and thus not really giving me too much value out of my Minstrel, other than it, getting me a surge of that of Deep Sea Divas. So, and again, as we are heading into game 2 here, of course, a quick shout out to Imperium Duelist. If you guys are interested in this playmat that I'm rocking here, this beautiful Solemn Wars playmat, and they've got tons of other playmats with incredible designs on their site. They got sleeves like you see us using here, deck boxes, dice, playmat bags, etc. Tons of accessories, high quality. If you guys are interested in picking up any of it, or you want to check it out, and if you want to get it at 10% off, you can, using that discount code WinnerKills10 off in the checkout, or at checkout. And that link to their site and the code is down in the description below, alongside an affiliate link to TCG Player, which you guys can use. And anytime you buy cards on TCG Player using that link, a small bit of revenue from your purchase goes right back into the channel, and it does help out greatly. So, continuing on here, the Deep Sea Diva, of course, going for Prince, and then following up with the Megalo. I really do love Megalo. I know, again, some builds, like I mentioned in my deck profile, some builds have dropped Mermails entirely, but I love the Megalo play for just a lot of setups. You can trigger multiple Dragoons. You can trigger Dragoons and a gun, which is a Monster Reborn, to set up rank 7 plays or rank 4 plays with things like Pike. So it's just an all-around great card, and it fits especially well with my deck, because as you see here, I'm always trying to use, at least in some aspect, a level 7 to go into Dragite with that of Halka Fibrax, because it works perfect here, because it's giving me the spell Trap Negate, but it's also giving me my Halka Fibrax tag out effects kind of like a purpose, as he rips a Lightning Storm off the top of the deck. Must be nice, but it gives the Halka Fibrax a purpose, and the fact that it can summon out Formula, and then it gives me even more purpose in the fact that the Formula has a job to do once it's on the board other than drawing a card, and that is going for that of Satellite Warrior. Luckily, my what is it called? My Draga is in defense. So I don't have to worry about losing it to Lightning Storm. Same thing with my formula. Now, I could have negated it there, but I'm just saving, since I was lucky enough to remember to put my Draga in defense, that I don't have to burn the negation there. Although I feel like I probably should have, but then again, ultimately, I just don't think it really would have made too big of a difference in the end. I guess another, to sort of critique my own play a little bit, is what I do here. He goes and sets the succession, as is typical with the current Mekk Knight play, to, you know, send World Armor, you know, off of Girsu, and then Lib sets succession to bring it back to get another search. Here, instead of waiting for him to commit to another play, I just go off right into Satellite Warrior to destroy 2, and then he follows up with a memory. So I guess I should have waited a little bit to see what he was going to go ahead and do first. But I just really don't think it makes too big of a difference. Hindsight's 20/20. I don't know what the better play would have been, because he either was going to use succession and was going to negate, or he was going to use memory and I was going to negate. I don't know. But either way, I get myself a 4,500 Satellite Warrior. On the start of my turn here, I go ahead and summon Fishborg Launcher and actually link into that area the Water Charmer Gentle, which comes in kind of clutch here to get that token off the field and make use of that Fishborg Launcher engrave. He tries to revive Indigo off of the secret. I go ahead and call by that, so he does take a little bit of damage here, and I'm sort of on the board in terms of life points, and that's really all I'm going to be able to do for my turn. So he's going to get Purple Nightfall back here during the standby phase, as you usually do. And he's going to activate Key here, which is kind of relevant in the term, you know, I guess in the sense that he's going to be able to get back a banished Mekk Knight. Not really in the sense that he's going to be able to negate any traps, because there are no traps in my Mermail deck currently in this video, and haven't been in quite a long time. But the add back effect actually mattering here for this particular game. So. And I guess the area play here is actually kind of nice, because it will force him to have to deal with it in a certain way, or I'll be able to search my deck for Neptibus or Deep Sea Diva or Dragoons, whatever I need, or I don't know, not Dragoons, but you know, any really good normal summon or good extender I can really just get off that of area if it is destroyed by battle or card effect. So he does have Girsu here for a normal. And he's going to dump another copy of Girsu. Now, this is where I almost regret using Call by the Grave earlier on the Indigo. And again, this is just a little bit of a critique on my play. I feel like if I would have held that Call by the Grave, because I knew there was a possible another Girsu play coming, I could have held that to Call by the Girsu. But he's already got World Legacy World Armor in the graveyard, so I don't think it would have mattered too much. Or even possibly saving the Call by for something like Lib here. So I think that was another little something that I probably should have paid a bit more attention to going, you know, forward, is try to hold something like the Call by the Grave, because I was just focused on trying to get damage in there. But I mean, unlucky for me, he had Key to get back the Indigo anyways. So same thing could be said about if I would have banished Girsu, he could have just added back the Girsu. But I think if I would at least saved that call by, I could have hit the Lib out of his grave, which would have been much more beneficial, as you know, that's getting him a lot of resources right now in terms of World Legacy spells and traps. And he's going to go ahead and resolve Blue Sky here. That's going to get him Red Moon. And Red Moon is going to be kind of scary in the sense that it's just another big body that he can work with and also clear cards with in the process. There is an access code plate talker available to him, I believe. Currently, I don't think he's under the influence of memory. So I think he can go outside of Mekk Knight monsters this turn. But of course, just linking off Lib is enough in the sense of, you know, removal. You know, so he'll go right into Morningstar for that added battle phase protection. Spin the area with the Lib and summon out Red Moon and remove the Satellite Warrior with its effect and swing in for 43. And I'll pass it back over to me. Now, I don't have much to work with here. I still have this Dead Moray of Greed. which I'm guessing at this point I kind of wish was a Pot of Avarice. I know some people had some questions about Pot of Avarice in my most recent deck profile. I really love that card, and then right here, Pot of Avarice would be absolutely bonkers. But it's just like, it's always a trade-off with Pot of Avarice. It's always like hit or miss. Like, it's very, very bad in early games. It makes bad hands worse, but it makes better hands sometimes even just absolutely bonkers, and gives you that grind game that you need sometimes. So I don't know. If I can find the room, maybe I'll actually end up just cutting like Morays for like 2 Avarice, and just seeing how that goes. I'm not entirely sure. I wish I had a way to fit all of them into the deck, but I just don't think that you can do that because you're adding too many spells to the main deck, and that can make Moray brick even more than it already can. So what I end up doing here is just trying to make something work, and I use infantry to clear the secret. I'm able to go into battle phase to run over the Red Moon. I'm not able to resolve Pike's effect or Tace's effect here because it was in the same column as a Mekk Knight upon resolution of its effect. So, but I am forced though to put the Tace in that column as Morningstar and Red Moon was in, just so I can at least do damage over top of his Red Moon. And I had to clear the Red Moon because if I didn't, he would just clear it during my turn. So he was debating here actually if he wanted to end phase Memory. So that's why you see him put back the card he drew, but then he realizes, oh, there's a Abyssgale the Mizuchi on his field, so that would just get negated outright. So he's actually just going to hold off on using the Memory. So the game is sort of slipping back into that of Mekk Knight's favor here, probably because of a few mistakes on my end, but I don't admit to being perfect. So he does end up crashing the Tace, which was at 25 thanks to Mizuchi, but Morningstar will let it stay on the field, and of course Morningstar swings him for 2k. And debating if he wants to follow up here. Really not too much to follow up into. Could possibly go into Spectrum Supreme, but you're sort of sacrificing your purple at that point for no gain. I believe out of libs here also. Probably just best bet here is to use purple and grab a follow-up for next turn, and that's something of like Indigo, maybe Blue Sky if it's still left. And it does look like there is a Blue Sky, but he's going to go for Indigo here, which is fine. And because he does have Memory here, but may also be out of secrets. I'm actually not sure. See here if he fancied the deck enough to show it, but he didn't. So not entirely sure, but gonna grab Yellow Star now and just summon that out off of Memory just to get it to his hand for next turn for more bodies. I top deck Prince here, but top decking Prince is rather bittersweet as there's no Dragoons left in the deck. So normal summoning the Prince to send infantry to add infantry. And as you might have guessed, I'm going to go ahead and clear the Morningstar, swing for 800, and pass it over to him. And then main phase 2, I've got to go into Link Kuriboh with how little life points I have, and pass it over and hope he doesn't have enough to do lethal. But he does have purple, and he does have a way to set a card to create a column, and that's going to put Indigo there, and he's going to be able to put Yellow Star onto the board as well. He's actually going to go for Blue Sky, grab another purple, and that is just game outright, regardless if I have the Link Kuriboh effect or not. And he's just going to go ahead and take game 2. And we're going to head into game 3. So we're tied up 1 game apiece here. Either deck could take the match at this point. Place your bets down in the comment section below who you think's got this one. No cheating. No cheating. So I'm going to be opting to go first here, as you might have expected. Definitely got a huge advantage going first with Mermail, obviously, if it wasn't already made clear. Infantry into Diva, into Prince to send Dragoons, to add Dragoons Minstrel here. And Minstrel is going to open up that can of worms and see what we're working with. And lo and behold, it's Instant Fusion, Upstart, triple Tactics Talent, Monster Reborn, and that of Indigo. So really no super good cards to here. And again, I guess I sort of play into the philosophy that I really wasn't thinking about at the time, but am now thinking about more going forward as I hit sort of the worst card out of his hand, So it gives me a greater chance to hit the better cards out of his hand with Moulin Glacia. So now that I'm seeing like triple tactics talent, I'm seeing instant fusion, I'm thinking I probably should prioritize Moulin Glacia here. As boring as that playstyle can be, playing the super omega hand control game with Minstrel and Moulin Glacia, because sometimes it just feels a little dirty going for the Moulin Glacia, especially after you've already minstreled them. But you know, that is the fury of the deep sea, I suppose, and sometimes it is uncontrollable, and you got to do what you got to do. So we're gonna go ahead and use area to banish the Minstrel, and that's going to make a little bit of room in the graveyard to help make a Moulin Glacia play happen. We're going to summon Magalo here by discarding the Prince and the Dragoons. And since his hand is all spells at this point, or majority of it will be spells, Mizuchi is absolutely huge here, because that'll basically just make one card in his hand dead completely. And Prince is going to revive Dragoons here, which is great because that will allow for extra link plays on top of the normal board. So Moulin Glacia added to hand alongside Mizuchi, and going to link into that all very, very clutch copy of Neptibus, as I've talked about in the deck profile, how much I like Link Karibo for easier Moulin Glacia setups. And not only is it going to allow for easier Moulin Glacia setups, but it's also going to set up a Halka Fibrax play as well. Actually, I don't know if I fully needed to go into Link Karibo there. I think I needed to do it, though, to clear space was the reason. Yeah, I think that ended up being the main reason. So the Moulin Glacia goes through, obviously, as he doesn't have any way to stop it, as we know. And I end up hitting the triple tactics talent and the upstart out of the hand. So it's probably the best thing. I was hoping out of anything if I could hit the triple tactics talent. Because if I didn't, that might be lead to some bad things. But I do have Dragite and I do have Mizuchi. So I have two spell negates, essentially, which can turn off a good chunk of his hand. Monster Reborn is just going to be burned just to get rid of the Mizuchi. Now there's only one spell negate. And there's Instant Fusion, which I have to turn off here. And he rips a Lightning Storm for turn. The luck has been absolutely insane. We know he has Indigo in hand at this point, which is a little bittersweet, because there's no way he really could have gotten the Indigo on field without playing, and could have gotten the Indigo on field and also played the Lightning Storm. So he kind of had to make a bit of a compromise here and just Lightning Storm and just kind of, pass essentially, because there's really not much else that he can do, which is unfortunate. Just needed something like Girsu or maybe a purple would have been absolutely fantastic. If that Indigo was a purple, this game would probably be going in a much more different direction. And I go ahead and obviously tag out for a formula and use Alacia's effect here to send swap to summon itself to send Ronin. And then I'm going to start my turn by bouncing back Swap Frog to normal it. Then sending another swap, and then, obviously swap for Ronin. And then going ahead into the Ixies known as Totally Awesome. And now I'm going to summon Teus, since I did not want to go for the Diva play, since I didn't think it was going to be as valuable, since I've already gone through the majority of my Dragoons. And I'm going to add Gund here, because I'm also going to synchro now into the Ravenous Crocodragon. And that's going to pick me up another card to make its discard to pop effect live. He'll take 42 there. I'll pass it back to him. And I'm going to use Toad's effect here in the standby phase. But again, if he would have had Purple Nightfall paired with that Lightning Storm, it would have been perfect. Because he could have set Lightning Storm, summon Purple, used its effect, possibly baited something out in the battle phase, and then tagged out to remove that face-up card from the field to get Blue Sky or Girsu, then Lightning Stormed. Which would have been huge, but just did not have the best luck there, and not drawing a hand trap a single game here, which is so very, very unlucky, and very unusual, I guess I should say, as his next two cards are hand traps. There's the irony there, but that's going to do it for this live testing match. Next up is going to be Mekk Knight versus Marincess. Very excited to bring you guys that live duel. Stay out on the lookout for that. Stay on the lookout for an update video regarding my new recording space. Can't wait to share you guys that little update video. And yeah, Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, Winner Kill signing out. We'll see you guys in the next one. And of course, a huge shout out goes to my Divine Level channel members here on YouTube, Academic Thick, Travis Harris, and Zors. Again, thank you guys so much for your continued support.